This week, we would like to take a moment of silence to remember Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, who sadly passed away at age 66 from a short battle of cancer. Thank you.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the Time Sweeps podcast. I'm Connor.
I'm Gary.
And I'm Wyatt, and this week we're talking... God damn it, this tweak!
This tweaker.
We're talking about this tweaker.
All right, restart. Okay.
Oh, damn. All right. What? W. All right, 3, 2, 1. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Time Sweeps podcast. I'm Connor.
I'm Gary.
And I'm Wyatt, and this week we're talking about Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Ian has told me that he only watches to see what sound we make weekly.
That's fair.
Fucking hell.
We thought the gimmick would be the secret word. No, it's making noises.
It's making noises at the end of the intro. Oh, man. Where do we even start? How does
It's
this
like-
movie even start again?
This is why I should have brought the notebook.
Trying to make the heart-shaped herb.
Oh, no,
yeah.
it started with...
The funeral.
Yeah, T'Challa getting bodied by some random disease we don't know the name of, and Shuri trying to save him.
Oh.
No, that's the thing. It's never labeled as cancer, but we all know it was, in reference to cancer.
Cancer.
All right, so are we getting into this, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And we're back.
Hello. Welcome back to the Time Sweeps podcast. Black Panther.
Is this actually the first movie review of this season?
Maybe. Of this season?
Yeah, this season
We
two.
haven't really been reviewing movies.
Yeah.
We've kind of just been
It
enjoying
kind of
them.
fell off. Black Adam was supposed to be on there, but it just
Oh,
kinda,
we never. I still.
Well,
Me and
I
Connor
haven't
still have
seen
never
Black
seen
Adam.
it.
It's
It's a possibility. We could still do it.
it's there. I took notes, so I mean I'm ready to get into it. If you guys see it,
I'm just
Yeah.
waiting for it to come out on HBO Max.
that's a
Yeah.
good way to wait for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other movies are coming out next? What do we got? Ant-Man's in March.
Ant-Man's
Ant-Man.
in...
I want to do Mario for the channel.
Yeah, Mario is a must.
Avatar
Avatar. Are we
is
doing
another
that
one
one?
I want to do for the channel for sure.
There's something else coming out. I was like, oh, that would be a pretty good one to do, and I don't remember what it was.
Glass Onion.
I don't think that was it. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I don't think that was
it a
what
horror movie?
I don't think it was a horror movie. Not Puss in Boots.
Was
I can say
Shazam?
that. Yeah, Fury of the Gods is way out there. It'll come to me
Across
at
the
some point.
Spider-Verse is at least 3
June.
years away.
Across the
in
Spider-Verse,
June?
it's in June, Connor.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Are you thinking about freshman year, maybe?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, freshman year is still Lord knows how many years. And then there's Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, and then they announced that they were doing the other one, which I don't remember. But that one's going to be like in 2026.
Okay.
2025, 2026. But yeah, Across the Spider-Verse, that comes out June 2023. Unless something gets pushed back.
That's coming out close to the new Spider-Man game. That's pretty close to it.
Yes. There's a chance that they might be trying to do that on purpose to, subsidate a Spider-Man mania, if you will. Spider-Mania,
I mean,
if
they
you will.
kinda
Let's
did that
turn
with Far
June.
From
Let's
Home
turn
with
June
the
into
original game.
Spider-Man month.
What?
Let's turn June into Spider-Man month. Or what month did Far From Home come out?
Far From Home came out in December. I was going to say, didn't Spider-Man month April?
Is there already a Spider-Man month?
Isn't that what
Yeah.
Amanda's Amazing Fantasy number 15, isn't that when it came out was April?
Think so?
And this past year, that was the 60th anniversary, wasn't it? Or is it the 59th?
I can't remember.
I'm having one of those days. I don't
me-
remember
me
my...
too.
Anyway, so the movie starts up with the tragic
Yeah,
passing of the Black Panther.
Shuri trying to make a cure for T'Challa, even though T'Challa's just continuously nothing's working
Right.
with his DNA coding.
Trying to synthetically recreate the heart-shaped herb.
I don't think that's what she was doing at that moment, because he would already have the herb in him.
Well,
But she was making it though.
Right. She was trying to make the herb, but in that scene, that's not what was happening. That was later. She's been trying to make the herb for a while and hasn't been successful, but in that scene, she is trying to make a synthetic heart, if I thought, but not a
No.
heart-shaped herb.
no.
No, I don't think it was hard.
She's making the heart-shaped herbs because of the fact that, like,
But he already had it in him.
Well,
More
it
isn't
wa-
going to do anything.
I don't know. I thought it looked to me like she was, because she printed off the exact same thing as what she.
but
print it
that
off,
one only had like
but
a
it didn't glow.
50% success.
29.3% success, and because it started with 26, and then she was like, rework it. 29. She was like, fine, print it. And it's like,
Right.
but why would another heart-shaped herb do anything?
I don't know.
He already has it in
Might
him.
give him strength. I don't know.
He already has.
Yeah, but
the
maybe
heart-shaped
there was
herb in
some shenanigans with when he got snapped back. It got because then he fought, right? But maybe
Yeah.
it like wore off after a certain period of time when he got snapped back. I don't know. I feel like it all space magic took it away.
I
or
feel like they
It's
didn't really
probably
want
what
to
it is.
explain it too much because of the fact that, the man was dead. And they just wanted to... I don't think the information really mattered in that moment.
This is what happens when I try to think about things, and then I get mad about it. It's luckily that Marvel does a better job than other movies. Anyway,
And then there's the epic funeral and homage
really-
to just Chadwick Boseman.
really
in
nice
general.
intro. Like the Marvel fanfare didn't actually
Yeah.
play; it was silent and all had scenes.
Yeah, it was
of
like a moment of
Chadwick
silence.
Boseman.
Yeah. Which was pretty cool. And then that's when the movie starts to kick in.
That's really when the movie starts to pick back up and go back into things of where that a year after the funeral
Right.
has happened is where it picks back up.
Okoye and her people. What are her?
The Dora Milaje.
Yeah, those people are kind of taking up the mantle of the
Becoming,
protectors
yeah,
of the
protector of Wakanda, the
Wakanda,
realm,
uh-huh.
and fighting off people that are trying to use vibranium for
right.
harmful purposes.
And they're doing a good job, really,
Yeah,
because
I
they
don't
found.
remember what happens until that scene. Like in my head, it just kind of flows from there to there. But I feel like there's something else.
Well, there's that lab, the Wakandan outreach thing or whatever, and then they're like,
Oh, yeah.
"Where's your vibranium?"
No, yeah, they were at the UN.
Yeah.
Then they went to that scene, and then they came back to the UN, but to bring those guys in. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was. They were in Geneva.
And then, is it Ramada? Or is it...
I think it's. I'd have to double check.
I can't remember her name.
The Queen.
The Queen.
Just say the Queen.
The Queen was reinstated as the ruler of Wakanda after
T'Challa has died.
T'Challa died. And she's like sitting in the UN. She's like, "Yo, I understand y'all think that our protector's dead, and he is, but we can kind of defend ourselves just fine.
Yeah, just because Black Panther is dead doesn't mean we're defenseless.
We are literally the most technologically advanced
country.
society in the modern world. We will if you try anything stupid, we will actually take force." And
Which is badass.
Yeah, and
Her
she
just
they
yeah.
showed that they were being merciful too.
yeah, they
They
brought
could be conquerors, but they are not.
exactly.
They brought in all the people that infiltrated the Wakandan. I don't know what you call that. What was the word you used? Research station.
I can't remember.
I thought it was outreach research
yeah.
station.
Outreach station.
Or because that that's one word that it was Wakandan outreach because it wasn't in Wakanda.
Right.
Where they
It
were
was
getting
outside
robbed.
of Wakanda,
Yeah.
and it's not an embassy. It's more like
No.
a secret lab.
Yeah.
But yeah, some French people try to infiltrate it and get some, vibranium technology.
And then they kind of be like, "Screw you, France,"
Yeah.
but without
that's-
saying that.
It's basically enough to start a war with France, and
They
yeah,
didn't
it's
do
like
that.
Wakanda's being merciful by not taking France off the map.
Right.
Brought in everybody that was trying to infiltrate to the UN
Mm-hmm.
alive.
Alive.
Yeah, that's the thing that really I think is also supposed to show what Wakanda is in the scene that came next with the Atlanteans or the Talokans. They're not using the
Yeah.
term Atlanteans.
Why?
Probably because
'Cause-
DC probably took a.
Mostly because the
Copyright
Aquaman
on it.
movie. It's not copyrighted because in the comics it's shared. It's a a general concept type of thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But they're wanting to use it so that use Talokans and base it off of Talokan, like a heavenist type place,
Gotcha.
to refer to all the people that live there under Namor's kingdom.
Right.
Gotcha.
Similar to calling him Kukulkan.
Yeah.
Well, so the United States was digging for looking for vibranium in the ocean,
Yes.
Yeah.
and looking for other sources of vibranium that weren't in Wakanda,
And
which
they
lo and
found
behold
it.
there were.
Because it's Earth.
Right. It's like it's got to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well,
like-
it's just like
It's the fact that it's
the
supposed
fact
to be
that one
undetectable.
meteor came into our atmosphere like without cracking. I get it's vibranium,
Right.
but like still, you know.
Which I think even throughout stuff, it's just that vibranium was supposed to be in large amounts found in certain places,
Yeah.
like the Savage Lands, and then so on with Wakanda,
Yeah.
and then pockets of it in other places.
Dude, they could introduce the Savage Lands now.
Yeah, I'm waiting
that
for the
they-
Savage Lands.
that they have shown that vibranium's other places.
They have the copyright for it. Just do it. Just bring it in.
Well, and then we see how much stronger Atlanteans seem to be than Wakandans.
Yeah. Well, like we get an idea of like what they're doing and their powers by fighting the CIA and the U.S. government and stuff right there.
They're blue. They're so blue.
Yeah, when they come on land or out of the water, they become blue.
Which is odd, but
I don't know much about that, to
that's
be honest.
weird. I know. I was like, why are they blue? Is it because their oxygen is weird? I don't know.
See, that wouldn't make sense because they
That
got the
wouldn't-
breather
Because
thingies.
They got the rebreather.
Well,
yeah.
vibranium's blue. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. It's when they're underwater, their skin tone goes back to like a
No, yeah, but when, like,
Mesoamerican brown.
They, I don't know. Maybe it's like Luca, but opposite.
That's about the easiest way to take it. Because
They're
Namor
both
is the
owned by
only one
Disney.
that doesn't have gills
Luca.
because he just
Well,
takes
he's like
oxygen
an-
out of everything.
He
Yeah,
just
I know.
absorbs oxygen. That's what they were talking about.
Right.
I'd like to see like an X-ray of him. Like, what do his lungs look like?
his lungs they're probably normal.
Or does he
Relatively.
just look like is he just a plant? Photosynthesis.
That's what I was going to say. It's more like photosynthesis, but instead of sunlight, it's oxygen. And his nutrients still has to be eaten.
But we still haven't met Namor at this point. That they're like.
Yeah, we got to see
taken
him
down.
take a helicopter out of the air, and that was
Oh
about
yeah,
it.
we got to and like he's just standing there, his silhouette, and by standing there, I mean flying
Yeah,
there.
his little wings pitter-pattering in the breeze, which weren't as distracting as I thought they would be.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird to say because that's one of the most distracting things about Namor's overall design.
Well, I feel like they put stuff on him to take your eyes away from him, and they didn't really use them ever as like centerpieces to him.
Yeah.
Like those were never like in view.
Like his
When, like, you
his
were talking
wings,
to it,
his
Right.
wings on his ankles were not
there
his
never
defining
really
feature.
was that many scenes of being able to see the ankles in full frame other than when he was fighting.
Because like in the
Exactly.
comics, right? Whenever you see Namor, he's either shirtless or got like a black shirt on, but like he doesn't have much on except for his wings.
His wings and his little
But in
bathing
this
suit.
one, he has all the jewelry
gotta
and
have the
stuff.
underwear.
He has the earrings. He has like all this like
The piercings,
like
that
art on him.
all that vibranium jewelry.
Exactly. So you see more of his culture and you see more of him rather than his
Yep.
wings.
And
And-
that was a big shift, is making the
Making
Atlanteans, the Talokan, have a culture versus
Yeah.
just kind of existing.
Yeah.
So
and,
giving
like,
them that.
explaining why the Wakandans didn't know about him, explaining why they haven't come up yet because they.
Yeah, no one knew about them.
I mean,
because they were
They
very
got the
big about not
biopsy.
leaving witnesses to their presence.
Anyone that does know dies.
But then like we go back to Wakanda, and Shuri's really struggling, not pouring herself into her work because since like she's depressed, right?
Yeah, she's been trying to grieve for a year and not having very good results at grieving.
No, and then her mom's like, "Hey, let's go out into the bush."
Yeah, let's go talk about this. I'll show you what I can do to help you.
let's go see the elephant.
Well, and because the big thing with Shuri is that she didn't believe in the astral plane, which is
Yeah,
like a big deal.
and
Wakanda.
Yeah.
In Wakanda.
But they get out to the bush and they're watching some elephants, and Wyatt almost cried because
yeah, no,
like, he thought they
I
were
like
gonna
as
hurt
immediately as I
elephants.
saw elephants, I was like, they better not do something to those elephants.
Wyatt
that was
leans
my
over to me in the
first thought.
theater and he's like, "If they hurt these elephants,
Wakandans
I'm
are
gonna leave."
poachers.
Yeah, I was like thinking that like an
The
Atlantean's gonna
Wakan-
like stab an elephant or something.
The Wakandans are poachers.
Well, and
But
then,
yeah, as they're doing a funerary fire, like not funerary fire.
the ritual fire to like say goodbye. Like, it's the ending of the grieving process.
Yeah, to put on the clothes that they were wearing during the funeral into the fire.
Yeah. Sure, he doesn't do it.
Yeah, sure he doesn't do it, which becomes representational of her existence and like story throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And her mom puts it in and is like, "My son died. What can I do about it besides pick up where he left off?
Mhm.
I may not be the Panther, but I can be the ruler of Wakanda." And then Namor is just like, "Oh, what a nice, happy meeting of family, and they're having a moment."
And they're like, what the? And they're like,
I'm gonna go
"Who
disturb
the
them."
hell?"
And they moved also the device using to find vibranium onto the land without them noticing. So
Well,
he
my
didn't
favorite
just bring
part of this-
himself, but like multiple other.
The best part of the whole interchange is like, if you come back to Wakanda, we're gonna fight. And then he goes, "I have more soldiers than this place has blades of grass.
Yeah, that one line was like, "Nope."
Do you still
Just
want to
nope
fight?"
out of it.
Like, it's just like, oh my god, like that was just him, like, you know.
Yeah, just the representation of like, I can destroy you.
The Taco Khans breed like freaking what is it? Sea monkeys.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
they just
They're life-size
packet of 'em out.
They're life-size sea monkeys.
just so many of them living underwater. Literally, you see so many of them later in the
Yeah.
movie. It's insane.
When he gives her a tour.
And I still have questions about their agriculture.
Seaweed, man.
But they had like papayas and
Hey,
shit.
they're on that
Seafood.
they're on that Minecraft.
Vibranium,
kelp
dude, is
game.
vibranium is
Don't tell me you can
basically-
grow a papaya underwater.
Vibranium.
Vibranium cannot
Vibranium.
grow a papaya underwater.
Vibranium. Vibranium gave a child wings on his ankles.
I mean, to be fair though,
Papaya
Hey.
underwater.
hey, think about it this way.
They had those caves too.
Think about it this way. They might have air chambers where they can grow stuff, and they have that little big ball of light, right?
Yeah,
Like
the
the
sun
Gungans.
thing.
The sun thing. So they might have like a little greenhouse type deal where they grow stuff.
It's like the Gungans.
But we see their agriculture system. We see them growing things. It's like stuff in seaweed itself. So at that point, they were already creating
the
enough
stuff that you
produce.
could do with vibranium-rich soil.
Don't tell me you can just
They're-
make a
they're
papaya
an a-
underwater
they're
with
an a-
vibranium-rich soil.
That's
Are
exactly
they
what you can
Aztec
do.
or Mayan?
I believe Aztec.
They're an ancient Aztec civilization that's underwater.
There are certain things I have questions about, Connor, and the papaya is one of them.
It's probably not even a papaya. It's
It
probably
might
just
not,
a water
yeah,
fruit.
it might just
Water
be
fruit?
a vibranium
Water fruit.
papaya.
Name a water fruit.
Water fruit. It's Marvel.
Watermelon.
Shit.
It's fucking Marvel.
Watermelon.
Connor? Why is it called watermelon, Connor?
Because it has water in it.
You know what I'm going to say next, Connor?
Yes,
You know what happens when you put it on top of water?
It floats.
it floats.
That's what I goddamn thought.
Well, it was being tied down by the seaweed because it was still attached from the stem.
I'm going to castrate one of you.
On this episode of Pissing Wyatt Off.
Yeah.
Bro, anyway, we move on. They're like, there's only one
Alan?
scientist in the world. They go meet their favorite colonizer, which
Martin
is
Freeman.
the guy, and it's for
Ross.
Bilbo Baggins.
Everett Ross.
And then
Martin Freeman.
they go,
They did my boy Bilbo dirty.
they say, "Hey yo, what's the deal?" And he's like, "There's only one scientist in the United States, and the CIA is after this kid." And they're like, "Kid?" And then they go to
And it's
the college. They go to MIT,
Goddamn.
and then they roast MIT.
Yeah, saying that it's basically like, oh,
It's
this
like
is
this the equivalent. We are at the school that's an equivalent to our village school.
like just sitting like where we send children.
Yeah.
Like these are all like young adults.
And then they go to they meet Riri. What's her last name?
Williams.
Riri Williams. And they're like, "Hey yo, what up? Come to Wakanda." And she's like, "Nah." And then
I have family here.
they go to her garage. And then she's like, "This is what I've been working on." They're like, "That's rad." But you
Blueprints
should
for
do-
like Stark Tech and
Right.
stuff.
It's like, and they're like, "But that sucks compared to what we can do in Wakanda. So you should come." And then the CIA comes to them, and she gets mad.
Then they
She's
get
like,
whoop
"But
whoop
the
and sound of
feds."
the police.
Yeah, and then they're like, "All right, we gotta leave." And then there's that chase sequence.
And then at
Really
the end of the chase sequence,
Pretty all right.
they-
Chase sequence.
I mean, but the chase sequence in Black Panther was good. So it's like it seems like they know what they're doing in Black Panther.
Oh yeah, no, it's like it's a good chase sequence. Ryan Coogler knows what he's doing when it comes to a chase sequence.
Yeah.
And this
we
time
get-
we involve the air.
And we get to see Ironheart, and honestly,
And
I
the
like
homemade
I
suit.
like the like the
The home
one
suit.
the homemade suit more than I like the Wakandan made.
I don't
suit.
like that she flies like this though.
I kind of do. It's kind of
I
hilarious.
don't like how she flies standing straight up, just like
It's like
I'm coming for you.
It's like a Gmod
It's
character.
kind of terrifying.
It's like a Gmod character T-posing.
Yeah, it's just like that.
No, yeah. Imagine like someone flying at you
It's
just
a
straight up like
goddamn
that, like
Nextbot.
Omni-Man, but they have a rail gun on their hand. Heck no! Like it's already enough that they're flying at me. Now they have a rail gun pointed at me.
Well, and then they get fast forward through the chase sequence. Okoye fights the hammerhead shark guy,
Atuma.
and like sort of loses, and then
Just kind of
Suri
make each other really
and
mad.
And then Shuri
and
wakes
Riri
up and is like,
go to
"Yo,
go to the place underwater.
Talukan.
Talukan.
T-A-L-O-K-A-N.
Talukan.
They go, and then Okoye gets her title as captain stripped from her because she
General.
Oh, general.
Yeah, general of the entire military.
Oh yeah, she gets that stripped from her because she lost the queen's daughter,
And the queen
was not happy
flips.
about that. But would you be?
Well, yeah, no.
Your
I
one
would
job is to
flip,
protect my daughter, and you failed.
just done screwed
you
up.
fail.
So get out, and then we go to the place. What I keep forgetting. the name.
Talukan.
Talukan.
We literally just said it.
And I spelt it.
Yes.
We just need to call it
And
Coco Cube.
Namor gives Shuri a nice little tour, and then
And
we
a
see
little
how vast
bracelet.
this place actually is.
It gave her a bracelet. Namor gave her the bracelet that
Of
his
his
mother
mother,
used to
yeah.
wear, which is made from fibers of a vibranium-rich plant.
Made from fibers. Foreshadowing. Okay, go on.
foreshadowing
Fiber.
Foreshadowing our future conversation that we're gonna have.
about fiber.
Yeah. Just keep
I am
going.
terrified of where you're going with
Just
that.
keep going.
What kind of stomach intestinal converation are we about to have about
Nothing.
fibers?
Oh dear Lord,
Nothing.
I can see where this is going.
I can't.
You'll see. But
So they're in Talukan. They have a wetsuit that they took from the IRA, the CIA, the IRA
they stole it
underwater,
from the Irish.
the Irish Republican, whatever. I don't remember.
Association.
Is it
I think it's
association?
association.
I don't think that's what it is.
What
Is
else would A be?
I don't know. They're Irish. They just,
Alliance.
Alliance.
that's
maybe?
it.
Anyway,
The IRA. So they take a wetsuit from the IRA.
and
And
Namor.
it's not just a wetsuit. It's like the full-blown like
Yeah.
underwater scuba suit, not scuba. It makes scuba look like a
It's
baby.
a prawn suit.
Did you say?
From
wait,
There
did
we
you-
go.
Wait, did you say? Were you trying to say IRS?
No, it came out as IRA, and I don't know why, but it's the CIA.
CIA. Yeah, I was about to say. I was like,
But then they Namor's like, hey, I know I have no quarrels with you, but just let me kill this 19-year-old.
It's like, hey man, yeah, like a nice, reasonable conversation. It's, I just need to kill the kid. I just want to
But
talk
he's like
to
being
him.
super nice.
Just let me talk
I
to
just
him.
want to talk to him. Dad, no, I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. And then what's her name breaks him out. What's her name? T'Challa's girlfriend,
Nakia.
Nakia comes and breaks them out because, well, first of all, the
queen goes and talks to Nakia, who has been in Haiti.
Yeah, because they're like, "Ayo,
For 6
my daughter
years.
was stolen, and you're the only lady that can go save them because you're badass."
You're literally the best at this.
And she's like,
Come help.
"I can't." And then she looks at her, and then she's like, "Okay, I'll go."
Pretty much, yeah. That's how I remember it going.
And then she goes, and she gets them out. And then where are we at?
Basically, saving the two kids. One Talukan person dies with a vibranium sonic round launched into their abdomen. And Namor's like, well,
Whoa, time
yeah,
to go,
guess
time
I
to
gotta
kill.
go flood Wakanda.
bow, bow, bow,
And then we
bow,
get a
bow.
bunch of water bombs all through Wakanda.
Oh yeah, they have these water bomb grenades that are like they look like giant D12s.
I think water balloons, but aggressive.
Yeah, that's what they are. They're fucking.
They're
grenade
water balloons, but upset.
They're-
But seriously, like that was one of the cool things that I saw earlier in the movie was when one of them was thrown, like Atuma. There was like a game that like Aztec Maya. I don't remember which one used to play or where it originates from, but Central American people would play at that time period of whatever, long time ago, old game. And you even see people in Talukan playing it that like you'd hit the ball with your hip.
Oh yeah.
and then it would
In
go
the
through
hoop?
like the side hoop.
Yeah.
thing, that, and then that's what he does with the water bomb and just destroys someone's day. It's like the equivalent of like kicking a bomb like it's football, and then exploding someone.
Kicking tear gas.
Yeah, he like
So
he's just playing at that point.
They get back. What did the Wakandans do while? Because I kind of fell asleep during this part for like 5 seconds.
I'm trying to remember what the Wakandans actually did. That's the point. I think that they're
Because
like,
I think they're just like, you're like, we got to prepare. And then they
Nakia,
just
good
don't
job.
prepare.
Yeah,
Like-
they're like having a normal day. Everyone's going about their business, and I think
Then-
Shuri's in the street talking to
then-
Okoye.
And then Riri's getting toured around by the queen.
Oh, the
That's what
queen.
it is.
Oh yeah, that's what happens.
And then it all goes
Namor
downhill.
is like, "Ayo, what up? You all are about to see some shit that you ain't ever seen before.
I was gonna say, you ever been flooded? You're about to.
Have you ever seen a more fast, nimble Thor? Here you go. That's water instead of lightning. Here you go.
Yeah. He is the serpent god.
And
Make
he's the
things
slippery one.
moist.
Yeah, he must remain moist.
Well, they just keep throwing things at Namor, and Namor just keeps destroying everything.
Everything they threw at him, he
Just
was
like
just
without
no.
effort, dude. Without effort, it was kind of really cool to see on screen, though. For real, like he just dead.
Literally was too fast, too strong, too durable. And if I'm not mistaken, was it M'Baku tried to hit him with his stick thing and it cracked
his-
over him
his
and it
mace
did
thing.
nothing?
Yeah, because M'Baku was actually like being like M'Baku was like a point of wisdom for
In this
Shuri
movie,
now,
yeah.
which I'm glad that he's
become
a nice
like
person.
a really nice guidance counselor.
Well, because I think like they saw how much
People liked
people
him.
liked M'Baku, and they're like, well, instead of going the whole like mean villain, let's go nice counsel. And we could, if we decide he wants to be a villain later, he can.
Yeah, he was just rude to T'Challa just because. Now he's like, actually, Infinity War probably changed a lot of people's perspectives about everything.
Yeah.
That would change someone.
Yeah.
Especially, was he snapped away?
I don't
think
no,
he was.
wasn't.
He got to see that firsthand. Yeah, that would change him. Yeah, he's on the ball of like,
Because
yeah,
he kind of like took up rule a little bit, or he like took over Wakanda for a little bit.
essentially, yeah, he
I
was
thought.
really helping. And that was a big point earlier in the movie. He was like, if my men were watching the water, none of this
would have
they wouldn't have snuck in.
Right.
So his men were watching the water, and we got to see the true power of it, Talokans.
Yep. Well, and then he like jumps in to like save people. I'm like, dang, he's really being a hero out here. Like, look at this guy.
He
And
goes
then
to
he's
fight.
like, fish man, I'm gonna get him.
Yeah, he's basically like, holy crap, it's a fish guy.
I'm gonna go get him.
Knife hand runs at him. I'm gonna go punch a fish.
I just imagine the cop from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, but with fur all over him and a big old
What?
fish man. And then he goes up and swats down on him.
Yeah, brings that club over his shoulder,
And,
like hitting
and it
right inside of
shatters.
the neck.
It shatters on
Does
Namor.
nothing. Splinters.
Yeah.
Yeah, you toothpick farm.
And
Instant.
then we almost witnessed M'Baku's death.
Yeah, I thought he was going to die. Once again, at that point in the
Namor
theater, I was
just
just like,
like-
I'm gonna leave.
I'm gonna leave if M'Baku dies.
M'Baku dies, I'm done.
Yeah.
But luckily he was okay. He just got put on his butt hard.
I like having the representation of big guy. That's the role.
He
Big
slimmed
guy.
down though.
He did.
It's from the first movie.
They still keep him look large, but he's really slimmed down in the
Um,
end, kind of a thing.
And then, Namor goes up to see the Queen and Riri
And floods the building.
and throws like 20 bombs at him of the water bombs.
He goes and looks at him and like shoves his spear through the window.
or tries to, and it doesn't go through, and then he throws bombs.
I think that was the thing, though. It was supposed to be like an intimidation, because he could have went through that window if he wanted to. It seemed more like he was cracking it to make it easier for the bombs to go through to me.
Maybe.
Because he throws like a solid, like 20 of them in there and
Yeah.
instant drown.
Well, and then the Queen's like drowning. She sees Riri. She brings Riri to the top, and then we cut to
Shuri and Okoye.
and then they go in there and they're like, and that other girl,
Nakia.
Nakia, they go in, and they're like, they see the Queen just sitting there in the water. And they're like, oh no! And then they start doing their defibrillator things because their beads are OP.
Because the beads are the best.
The beads are the best.
Which
Which
Wakanda-
apparently, what's her name can tap those things, make it like, what's her name? The girl who leads the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how that worked. I don't remember her name. What Elaine from Bellefontaine,
Desfontaine, I think.
Desfontaine, Valentine.
I don't know, but
Valentina?
apparently her and
Val.
Bilbo used
Because
to-
I remember the joke. She didn't like being called Val.
Yeah.
apparently her and Bilbo used to pal around.
not just pal around. They were married.
They were married.
They were married.
Um,
They were roommates.
and they were, oh my gosh, and they are roommates. But the beads are OP, so they're doing their defibrillator thing, and then like it doesn't work on the queen, so the queen dies. Another funeral for the queen.
Another funeral scene.
And M'Baku's like,
Being there for
what are
Shuri.
you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do now?
And then so
You get to step
Shuri
up,
goes to work on her
make it
heart-shaped herb, and
While
nice little Rocky montage.
And while Riri creates her Power Ranger costume,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that
we
too.
get the.
she looks like a red ninja.
It looked like I still can't get over the face. It's the face to me.
She looks like Eve.
Yeah, it's
You said
it's
that.
Eve's face.
It's Eve.
Like the chest piece, whatever. It's sure that it kind of looks like a really crappy render of like a Cadillac in like a '90s video game on a
Is it an arc
N64.
reactor?
That's what it looks like.
But she didn't use an arc. Like she didn't like.
In the earlier suit, she has
shot?
like the on the homemade suit. She has some. It looks like the arc reactor that Tony had on the
Yeah.
nano suit,
Yeah.
which that's more confusing to me. But
I think it was just because that one was more in shape of like
I
if you
had a
just like that one was like
It looks
this,
more
and
like
if
a
you,
heart.
Like, put that down, it would be a heart, right?
Yeah. She might have just looked at the patent and was like, "Oh, I
right.
can make this."
And I like that you get like the scene of her like hammering out a sheet of something that looks like a heart and that's not used at all on
Not
the
at
newer set
all,
of armor.
yeah.
It's like, what was the point of that? You just wanted to have a Iron Man suit hammering scene. That's it.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of nice to see that more in her actual show versus the Black Panther trailers where they were like, this scene right here, man.
Well, the scene of her, like the from down here, is the best. That the suit looks good from there. When
Right,
You're not
yeah,
seeing
like,
the front
The back
view
and
of it.
underneath of the suit looks really good.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And then you get to the front of the suit and it's like,
It's
And
like,
it looks like a
oh.
damn Power Ranger.
yeah, it
No.
looks
Oh, but then we get to
smooth
see.
and weird.
We're kind of skipped ahead a little bit there. But she creates the heart-shaped herb by
yeah.
looking at the fibers on the bracelet. That was what I was
looking
talking
at
about.
DNA.
the
all I
DNA
was-
signature,
and,
or
like,
like not
because
the
it was
genetic,
She's like, "Hey, run the same thing again, but put the stuff from the bracelet in there."
and also T'Challa's DNA,
Yeah,
and then we could do this all around.
and it was like a 98% match.
I think it was like 98.9 or 99.9, a larger number
And
then
then
that
it
worked.
glued.
She was like, "How are we gonna know if it works? If it glows, and then it glows, and then she goes to the astral plane."
And then
And
she
meets
flips.
Killmonger.
She trips balls real hard and sees her
Sees
dead
it.
cousin that she didn't really know that well.
I still don't understand that. Just because she didn't believe in the astral plane like him, or
I think that's what it is. She didn't believe in the astral plane. She wanted vengeance. His whole thing was that he wanted revenge against the world and wanted to see it burn.
and she
That's
did,
what she wanted because her brother's dead, her father's dead, her mother's dead. She's the only one left. What is there for me? So that's where she gets this new challenge of worldview of like, man, what is the point of ruining the world if there is no world?
right.
There's more righteous causes.
Well, and then she wakes up and she's like, "It didn't even work." And then she punches an armor stand into next Tuesday.
Because that was another thing. If the astral plane was real, she was like, why didn't I see my brother? Why didn't I see my father? And she also
Well,
like,
she lies to what's her face about she didn't see anyone.
yeah,
And she's like, "Well, that's not right."
yeah,
Who'd
that
you
doesn't
see?
make sense.
Who'd you see?
Who
No
did
one.
you really see?
because she's freaking.
Did she ever tell her?
I don't think so. I can't remember. Because when later in the movie, she's like, "So who did you really see?"
Yeah.
She just kind of walks
She
off.
And
says
then
no
she's
one.
like, she's like, my man walked that astral plane too. I know exactly how that works. You did see someone, you asshole.
It's like T'Challa did it at least
Because
3
you remember,
times.
she was like a big contender for the heart-shaped herb when they thought T'Challa died in the first Black Panther movie.
yeah,
They're like, we
Yeah.
need some. Yeah,
Yeah.
because like you remember, because his mom stole one of them, and when Killmonger was burning them all, and she's like, "Take it," and she's like, "I'm not taking that. That's not my job."
and they got word from the mountains that he might be alive or something. I don't remember what
Yeah.
the case was there.
Well, then they go. Well, they go to M'Baku so he will take the heart-shaped herb, and then he's like, "Well, I have something here that will help."
We have something better.
And then T'Challa's there, because that's what they go. They go to him and they're like, "Hey, do you want take this and save us, save Wakanda?" But imagine M'Baku with it, dude.
Yeah, no, he'd be like he is in the comics after eating the gorilla meat.
Right. I
What?
forgot that's how we got his.
That's his powers in the comics. He has powers to rival the Black Panther because of the mountain snow gorillas. You eat their meat, which is a taboo, and like he gains powers. So he has
Really?
powers to rival the Black Panther.
Why is he so strong in the movies, though? Like, because he's way stronger than even his people.
He just is, man. He just is that strong. He's just that good.
Terrifying.
His muscles are just dense as
Well, because so then they gear up for war.
Man has an 11 pack.
11? That's an odd number. Why?
Exactly. That is the point.
So they gear up for war, and M'Baku has a new mace thing but it's vibranium ball on top of it instead of wooden ball.
That was his preparation.
He's like, my last weapon shattered, so I'm gonna make something that doesn't shatter.
Shatters it. That would have been funny if it shattered.
And then
he also
she's like,
has
"You
new
didn't
armor."
Cure it, you moron.
Yeah, new armor, and then they go and fight their fight.
Yeah, they fought him in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, because a Wakandan ship. They geared up all their.
This really sadly designed boat.
Yeah,
With one thing that helped it move.
Yeah, like it had a small rudder system.
There was no failsafe.
It was really which
It
guaranteed.
wasn't lined with vibranium.
If humans
That's
were
the thing.
able
I think
to make
it was.
if humans were able to make a big boat that fly, why didn't they make a big boat that
They
flew?
did.
No,
The
like
helicarrier.
that's what they're
That's
saying.
what I'm saying.
Like, if
if
normal
humans
peop-
were able to make a big boat that flew, why couldn't the Wakandans?
If like normal American government did this, the Wakandans who are much more advanced could make something even better.
Right. You remember when the helicarriers were just big repulsor things that Stark designed? I remember that.
Burn the landscape.
Yeah. Anyway, and then we see 1 billion bombs get set off underneath this boat.
Yeah, they bring like a whole bunch of water bombs and it rocks the boat real hard.
Yeah, I was expecting a nuclear bomb to go off.
Oh yeah, and they're also fighting the Telecons underwater by using on the bottom of the boat a like a sound thing.
Oh yeah,
I don't remember
they
how
don't
to describe
like it.
Oh yeah, that's a huge part about the Telecons we have not mentioned at all. They have the power to basically be like sirens.
Oh my God, yes they do. That's
And
how they killed
actually
all the
sing
CIA
this really
agents on
cool
the-
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They'd lure them into the water and just drown them.
Mm-hmm.
like siren, like literally.
And they
sirens.
do it in Wakanda until like people are like.
Where do sirens come from? The Greeks.
A lot of
Good
places.
question. Yeah, a lot of people have different varying words for it. I know the Greeks definitely had to have had one because of all the rocky shores that they were sailing through. So it was kind of a one of those like the fairy tale type situation of like
Right.
the big bad wolf, like
Then
don't talk to
there's-
strangers
then
in the
there's
woods.
Obviously, stuff in the Caribbean and
Which, that came
Mayans and
later, though.
Aztec, yeah.
Well, in Marvel, sirens could have just been these people.
Well,
Because-
other than the fact that they didn't exist until the 1600s. That was the whole thing. That was the whole
Yeah,
scene.
but like I thought that's like just in that part of the world, you know. I don't know. Whatever. Well, then Namor comes out. Well, they figure out Shuri gives Okoye a new suit, and she has one more suit, and she gives it to one lady
we
with
see
knives.
the Midnight Origin suits, and then she's also in the movie. Annika,
Yeah.
K-A,
Right.
I believe is how her name's spelled.
And then they find out that Namor has weakness. Let's dry him out. Let's
Yeah.
put some salt on him like a slug, and he will be dead.
Which would have worked really well. I want to put that out there. They were like, no, let's heat him up. And it's like, no, just dump salt on him. Like, I know he's in salt water, but hear me out.
Just salt without water. It'll soak up all the it'll dry out the stuff that's already on him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Salt and heat would have really been the...
So
Or shove him in a
Okoye
vacuum
becomes
chamber.
Purple Orisa, because that's what the face looks like to me. I don't know why. Just like Purple Orisa from Overwatch. And then they kick ass together. They could fly, and they have dreadlocks on them, which is pretty rad. And then Shuri lures Namor away to this island where they could dry him out.
Yeah,
How
to
we
the
just
shore.
Instantly got into spoilers this video.
It's fine.
It's been out for a week, essentially.
Gotcha.
By the time that this
By the
video
time we
goes
watched
up,
it, it's been out for a week.
It was out for 4 days.
Oh.
It came out the 11th. We watched it on the 14th.
All right. We'll just put spoiler review in the title.
At the point that this video goes up, it's been exactly 7 days since the movie's been out. If you don't know any spoilers, good for you. Why are you watching this video anyway? But yeah, we get to that point in the movie. There's the big fight. They're on, like, the Black Panther's main ship that they actually used for all of his missions and stuff. And then it gets to the point the heat thing doesn't work anymore because Namor stabbed it.
And then exploded the ship.
Yeah, and crashed the ship on part of
An island.
somewhere.
Some island.
And then they have a big old fight on the beach. And then Shuri's just, like, gets stabbed, impaled, stabbed onto a rock.
Yeah.
Breaks the spear and then pulls herself off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like full action hero type stuff right there. Full, really, like the gross kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then full on goes for it on setting up an explosion that catches Namor on fire.
Yeah.
Burns his back, and he's basically done for. And she's like, "You will either die or yield." Not said like that, because he just straight up says the word yield, but it's kind of...
I think he said I yield.
He does say I yield,
Well,
but she never... proposition the word
cut
yield.
back to her and Killmonger, and then...
Her and her mother, I thought.
And then,
there's a
her and
flashback to
Killmonger.
her talking to Killmonger.
And then, like, it's like her mother sees her on the astral plane. She's like, show him who you are. And then she looks at him. She's like, "Hey, if you yield, we will protect your oceans. We'll keep your damn secret."
Right. Well, because imagine those two nations like united, which is what the whole point was, is like
Yeah,
how
that's
much
what
more
Namor
powerful they
wanted.
would be.
And then the end, Namor kind of gets what he wants in a way.
Well, and then I imagine there's a point off screen where he just gets in the water and all of his wounds wash away like Percy Jackson. Yeah, he Percy Jacksons himself.
All of his wounds. We forgot to
How
mention
the
he
hell
gets his wing torn off.
How the hell is Shuri
Yeah.
okay? She gets impaled.
They do have
The suit repairs
like,
itself, but I think it also
do have,
compresses the wound a little bit. But
Gotcha.
there also comes to a problem of
They
it's
do
a
have-
straight hole.
They do have accelerated healing too.
That's
the
true.
Black Panthers
That's
do.
true.
Still though, straight hole through the body.
I don't know. Maybe there's a healing system where she just.
Then again,
I know the
vitamin
beads
tunnel through her.
The
for a
beads
minute.
do something too.
The beads do
You can
stuff.
just shove the beads in a hole and it'll help for some reason.
Yeah, because they did that to what's their
Freeman,
name?
wasn't it?
Well, because he got shot. Yeah, because he got shot in the spine and he was paralyzed.
And they
were
put the
just
beads on him, and then they took him to the doctor.
because they shoved one.
Or they took him to Shuri, actually.
Yeah. And then she healed him, which was crazy. Anyway. Then yeah, they get along. And what else happens? Oh, he kind of just calls his army off.
Yeah, they call the army off, and then there's this pull-out shot of seeing how many people have survived of the Wakandan.
There's like 5
all
of
of
them.
the
There's like,
Wakandans,
solid 6
all
are
of the
left.
Wakandans that they had died. So like, M'Baku was right.
Literally.
like, that was the dumb. Like, I was like, everyone's gonna die, and then they did. I was like, yep, M'Baku, only smart one there.
Because he knows, man. M'Baku knows.
Well, yeah, and then like they show how many freaking Atlanteans are there, dude.
Yeah, that pull-out shot, you see how many are on the boat.
There's like
how many are climbing up the boat.
how many are in the ocean? Like, it's
They
like,
are outnumbered.
he's like, I mean, he didn't lie. He told you how many soldiers
There's
he
something in the ocean.
1 to 300.
had. That line, I couldn't get over that. It's just like, I have more soldiers than this place has blades of grass.
And it's like,
Okay.
he's not wrong.
I remember listening. I was like, okay.
Don't pick a fight with the fish, man.
Don't do it.
Don't
Like,
fight the
sea
fish.
monkeys.
And then all is well.
Yeah, and then everything kind of goes back to normal. They fix Wakanda. Shuri is now regent.
Yep. And they send Riri back to school, but they keep her suit. They're like, you can't have
they're
this
like,
suit.
you can't have the suit.
Oh,
Sorry.
here's your brand new car.
Yeah, they give
that
her
was
a
your
car
dad.
They give her car back that they destroyed because Okoye did stab a spear through the back of it.
And it also kind of got exploded.
That too.
And I remember when Okoye was like, this is a piece of junk, and Gary looks over to me and like makes this face, and I was like, they have flying cars.
It was a beautiful car, okay?
They have crap that flies.
I don't care if
What-
it can fly or not.
what-
It's still a piece of art. and
At what
beautiful.
point did I make the joke?
I
Good
don't
question.
know, but
can't
it was
remember.
silly.
It was during the Queen's funeral, I think.
Oh yeah, it was.
You know why? You want to know why? Because the girl like in the far corner, was crying very loudly.
Was she actually?
Yes.
I couldn't hear that.
I was like,
I know
Oh, the girl sitting next to us.
no,
like far down on the
far down on the
other
left
way,
hand
like
side.
on the other side of
Yeah, but because there was a bunch of people on this side, and there was only that
Yeah.
her and her boyfriend.
Yeah.
I assume on that
She
side.
she was crying loudly. I was like,
Dude, there was at one point the sound system kicked in a different way that like we could hear them talking, like when she's talking to Killmonger, and then the fire kicks in,
Yeah.
and you could hear the kindling, right?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that that's what was happening with speakers behind us as well. So I thought someone like down the line on my right was getting a bong rip during the movie. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And I look over and like everyone's just like sitting there and I'm like, where is that sound coming from?
I wish that was the case.
That would have been hilarious.
That would have been beautiful.
Because I wouldn't have done anything.
I'd have walked over like, can I have some?
I just would have been sitting there like, well, I guess this is the movies.
God.
Because I thought that's what it was. And then I realized on the screen it's like, oh, okay, I'm just an idiot. I'm just a caveman.
Oh boy,
There's
that's
speakers
beautiful.
behind
That's
us.
Butamus.
Butamus?
Butamus.
That's my
Butamus.
favorite Transformer.
Butamus Prime.
Butamus.
My name's
So then what
Butamus.
happens?
Basically the ending.
Yeah.
With,
Shuri goes to Haiti.
Yeah, Shuri goes to Haiti to visit
Nakia.
Nakia. She's like, hey, yo, what up? And she's like, oh, welcome.
And then
You can
she-
stay here as long as you want. And she's
and-
like, why would I stay here? I'm a protector of Wakanda now.
She's like, I have someone I need you to meet.
Yeah. Which
And
I
then-
called this before the
Oh,
sort of
yeah, and then it was like,
halfway.
baby.
Baby.
They revealed that she was pregnant before the snap.
6 years ago.
Yeah. Which
Her and
was
T'Challa's child.
T'Challa. T'Challa Jr.
Yeah. I want to know how that works in terms of like traditional naming trees. I don't know anything. You know what I mean?
I don't know. But it was T'Challa, son of T'Challa. Which probably just so they could introduce T'Challa as a character in the
Right.
future.
And in comics, he has a son.
Right.
And I don't remember what their
Pretty
name
sure
is.
he named him T'Chaka.
Did he, though? I really don't remember.
There was that he had a son in the comics, and then there was that one animated movie, The Young Avengers, where they go back to Earth.
Yeah.
No, they were always on Earth.
They were off Earth. They were off world, I thought.
They're in
that movie.
Antarctica.
But they're in like a utopia.
In Antarctica.
Oh.
Because
Officially made by
Tony's
Iron Man.
yeah
Right.
Tony Stark is their
Is
protector.
watching after him.
And because Ultron kind of took the
Vision
world
comes to
and went.
visit. Yeah. And Hawkeye was still out there just fighting. Which,
Yeah, and had a son.
Yeah. Hawkeye's son in the middle of the wasteland, which par for the character.
Yeah.
If anybody's going to have a child that lives in a wasteland, it's
The
going to be
movie's
Hawkeye.
not bad though.
Wakanda?
No, the movie.
Oh, yeah. No, I like
The Young
the...
Avengers
Avengers is
movie.
good.
Yeah, it's a pretty enjoyable movie.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of, like, Ultron stories to get, made into something. Like,
Yeah.
what if
I
Ultron
don't
wins?
I
Yeah,
don't
but,
understand
Wakanda
the
wasn't bad
Captain
either.
America and Black Widow pairing.
Why?
You don't? That's
Well,
like
I understand
longer.
it, but like I don't know, because he's a golden boy and she's like a
Spy?
spy, like that's committed probably war crimes.
Yeah, but they've always they're usually the ones who do get together.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's more
I
than normal.
thought that was a weird thing that
No,
animated
Not
movie
the
had.
Hulk
entirely.
and Natasha thing is a weird thing.
Yeah, I know that. I was like, why?
They kind of just pair Black Widow with everybody in a way.
Because
It's
I
kinda
know
like in that
I
way
know
that
her
they
and
have her in-
Deadpool have gotten together, which I was like, okay.
Yeah, her and Daredevil is one of the big ones.
Her and Daredevil makes sense though.
Does it? He's a street level character
Who believes
She's
in
a
God.
spy.
Because
Christian boy.
well, they're
I don't
Catholic
understand.
they
boy.
both have
understand-
dark tactics though.
But I don't understand the meeting is the thing.
That's true.
Yeah,
like-
she's on like the biggest platform in the world, and he's a street level hero that not a lot of people know about.
Literally works for the government, a foreign government or our government, lives in New York.
I mean, there's a Russian mob in New York.
There's a Russian mafia, but that don't mean shit when you're a KGB agent.
That's true.
I'm surprised we didn't get any of the Thunderbolts like cameos.
I was actually half expecting that to be part of the end credit scene after they announced Thunderbolts, and then I heard that What's Her Face was in the movie.
Yeah,
And it was like,
Who?
oh,
the post credit scene was kind of
Valentina-
just like.
Oh,
Elaine from Seinfeld.
yeah.
Seinfeld's girlfriend.
I wish there was a second end credit scene because like
I understand why they didn't do one, but at the same time, it's like, I kind of wish.
We just see Kylo Ren.
I'm just kind of glad that like. No, I don't know how to sum up my feelings about credit scenes right now. Because like, was that a nice touch? Sure. Did it need to be a post-credit scene? Not really.
Well, Wyatt said at the very when the lights came up, exactly what I was thinking. So when are we getting a Namor movie?
Yeah, when are we getting Namor the movie?
Because that's what I want now. Because
I want to see.
He was
more.
my favorite part of the movie, to be honest.
Absolutely. I think he stole the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Like
did.
the meaning of the story was still wonderful. It was nice to see them talk about everything that was going on.
Yeah.
In like that pseudo.
And
they
explained T'Challa's death and everything.
Yeah, the way that they go about treating
Half
it.
explained it. Really.
Well, yeah.
That's the thing. They didn't explain it because
They didn't want to convolute it.
wasn't that. It was that they tried to say it as in this way of it was a last minute thing that this happened. Because they say that T'Challa was just suffering in silence and never told anybody.
Like Chadwick was.
Right. Which to me seems kind of like the way that they went about talking about his actual passing.
Right.
They were using the movie as part of the grieving process in the making of this. And it's like you can kind of see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a valuable Marvel movie in terms of what came about in the past year. It's not the same as Spider-Man and it's not the same as Shang-Chi, which I think are about the next two best movies. Doctor Strange coming in after that.
Yeah.
They're all...
You're putting these above those movies? This movie above those movies?
I don't know about above, because I liked Spider-Man more, but I think Black Panther did end up having more emotional depth to it than Spider-Man
Well,
did.
yeah, it's more so.
Spider-Man's emotional depth was, Spider-Man's life is hard. Look, we brought back these actors that you love from your childhood. And it's like, all right, I'm a sucker, I'll bite. I'm a fish. Bait that hook, man.
Yeah.
And then Shang-Chi was just really good.
Yeah.
It was just good. Black Panther Wakanda Forever was a much more emotional movie.
It was a lot more cinematic in the fact that, like,
It had more message.
It had more, yeah. It wasn't like a Marvel movie first and foremost. It was a movie about grief and stuff, which was nice.
I think that it had more going on in terms of the
emotional intelligence.
The emotional intelligence of the movie. I think it had more going on.
Yeah.
Kind of tapped into the thing that they wanted to do with like Wanda's character arc from like WandaVision to Doctor Strange, but there was kind of like a disconnect somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And continued with the emotional depth of losing someone, wanting them back, and then finding closure.
Yeah, like I feel like with this phase and like the next phase, we're gonna be seeing a lot more like because a lot of people are right. There is a formula that has become too repetitive. I feel like that with this next phase, we're gonna see a lot more depth. Because now we're done with the exposition, right? The exposition of the universe. We've built up the world a lot, and now we're just going
waiting
more
for
in
them
depth
to
for it.
explore.
Well, because I
Yeah.
feel like we're going into we're going to be talking about more characters that have more depth to like more
going
to
on.
lose. I feel like
Yeah.
like because think about the Fantastic Four. That's literally a family of people,
Right.
Who
Spider-Man's identity is now back on the line.
right.
Daredevil's identity is always on the
Yeah.
line. He's just a man.
And Spider-Man. Not only that, Spider-Man like you in
She-Hulk
the
has
other movie
something.
in the previous movie, like in the previous two movies, the only thing I had issues with Tom Holland's Spider-Man were in Far From Homecoming, he did suffer a little bit of consequences.
Right.
And then in Far From Home, you didn't see a lot of consequences until after the fact, right? But in No Way Home,
It's all consequence.
it's all consequences, and the consequences stick. There's no real happy ending in the movie.
Right. Which, one of these days, man, I want a Spider-Man movie with an actually happy ending. Like, Spider-Man deserves to have one. In the comics, it's like a thing that Marvel has the mission
Spider-Man
statement.
2 had a happy ending.
Was it that happy, though?
He got Mary Jane. He
got Mary Jane,
stopped the
but then
bad
she
guy.
also
right at the
loses
start, yeah.
Mary Jane again, essentially.
Right at the start of
They were about
third
to get
movie.
married, and then it goes back downhill again. those movies do pin themselves on Mary Jane and Peter Parker always having something split them up, come back together, split them up, come back together.
In Spider-Man 2?
Doesn't it end with some kind of cliffhanger ending that even though they're together, that something could still come between them?
Oh, that's Spider-Man 3. Because it ends with them dancing. That's Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 2 ends with like her running out of her own wedding with
J. Jonah Jameson's son.
John Jameson's. Yeah, she walks out, she runs out of it and
Wait,
then
hold on.
runs
Isn't
to
it
the apartment.
J. Jonah Jameson Jr. JJJJJ.
No, I thought
JJJJ.
John. I thought it's John.
I thought it was JJJ Jr.
No, it's John Jameson.
All right.
Isn't he a bad guy?
He becomes a werewolf.
Spider-Man 2 is is like my all-time favorite superhero movie. So like I've seen this movie more times than I think I've blinked in my life.
I'll be honest, I don't remember him referring to his son by name in that movie. I remember J. Jonah always going, "My son, the astronaut." Have you seen my son, the astronaut?
Yeah. Well, like
I need pictures of my son. My son's an astronaut.
The reason Spider-Man 3 ended like it did was because Avi Arad took his and went and it was like Venom and then Sam Raimi was like Sandman and then he was like Venom and he's like
he
no.
beat the movie like he was an abusive
and then he was
father.
like Venom and then they had to put Venom in.
Yeah.
And dude, did you see that thing where like
Spider-Verse had a happy ending. I just realized that. Sorry.
Yeah. Did you see that excerpt from a book about like that mentioned something about Avi Arad being pissed off about the MCU? Spider-Man, he's like this. It's trash. They've only done it for money. I'm like, Avi,
You're the worst.
your
person to talk
production
about that.
decisions revolved around toy sales and Venom. I had to break your kneecaps. You ruined two good. You ruined two.
I'm gonna break your knees, son.
You ruined two trilogies.
We didn't even get a trilogy with the second
toy sales. I said that's why
I was gonna say you could say that it was ruined because it didn't get that far.
Exactly. Right. You ruined two trilogies by pushing and like beating toy
Beating
sales
the
into
idea
it
of
because you
sales
were
into the
originally a toy salesman. Like, that pissed me off. I was like, dude, they even thanked you in the credits of No Way Home. You insufferable asshole. Like,
well, and on that note, we're out of time for this week's episode of the podcast. If you haven't watched Black Panther and you don't care about spoilers, go watch it.
Yeah, please do yourself a favor and watch this movie. Us talking about it cannot do it enough favor. We suggest that you please do watch it. It's really well made.
It's a really good movie.
It's well written. It's well made. The effects hold up. It's good to watch.
They didn't run out of money in the last scene again, which is good.
They spent their time on this one.
Yeah.
And what's the secret word?
Secret word's probably going to be I actually don't know right now.
T'Challa?
Yeah, sure. Let's make that the secret word. Secret word's T'Challa.
All right.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.